My darlings, when you find your soulmate, nothing feels forced. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to hide anything. You don't have to try to appear better than you are. You don't get tired. You don't perform. You just are yourself. And he wants exactly that. This is called emotional intimacy. And this is the most valuable thing you can have in a relationship. More valuable than physical closeness, more valuable than shared hobbies, more valuable than beautiful memories. Because emotional intimacy means this man sees you. He truly sees you. Not your strongest self, not your most brilliant self, your most broken self, your most vulnerable self, all of yourselves. And he doesn't run. My darlings, the woman who finds this has found everything. I found it too. I have been feeling it for 41 years, and today I am going to tell you about it, what it feels like, how you recognize it, and why, when the right man comes, everything truly flows like water. My darlings, what exactly is emotional intimacy? Let me explain it very simply. Emotional intimacy is this: being able to be completely yourself when you are with him. Not having to appear strong, not having to pretend you know everything, not having to be perfect, just being you. And reading this in his eyes, I want to be with you, exactly as you are. I don't want anything else. My darlings, in many relationships, everything seems to be there. They spend time together. They build beautiful memories. There is a strong attraction between them. But the woman still cannot say certain things. She hides some of her thoughts. She conceals some of her feelings because she is afraid of appearing too much, afraid of appearing too sensitive, afraid of appearing too weak. My darlings, if you cannot be yourself beside him, he is not the right man, period. The right man grows you beside him. He does not belittle you. He does not judge you. He just holds you. And that holding, even without words, says everything. Now I am going to give you 5 signs. When the right man comes, you will feel these, and on that day, everything will make sense. The first sign, you can be yourself beside him. My darlings, this sounds simple, but believe me, very few women truly experience this. You don't feel the need to appear strong beside him. You don't feel the need to be perfect. You had the hardest day yesterday, and you can come home and tell him without breaking down, without apologizing, without becoming defensive. You just tell him, and he listens. He doesn't judge. He doesn't immediately try to offer solutions. He just listens. He truly listens. My husband Chester never pushed me to be someone different. He never asked me to be quieter. He never asked me to be less dramatic. He never asked me to be more compliant. I stayed as Loretta, with all of my Loretta-ness, and he chose me every single day, exactly as I was. My darlings, if you cannot breathe beside him, he is not the right man. The right man expands you beside him. He doesn't shrink you. He grows you. He doesn't make you smaller. And every passing day, you feel that expansion. The second sign, you can tell him everything. Not just the beautiful things, the ugly things too, your fears too, your failures too, your most embarrassing moments too, your most vulnerable states too. And he doesn't judge, doesn't run, doesn't belittle. He just listens. He truly listens. My husband Chester was the first man in my life who truly listened to me. He didn't look at his phone while I was talking. He didn't look out the window. He didn't look at his watch. He just looked at me. And that look said, "Go on, I am here. I want to hear everything." My darlings, someone who truly listens to you has given you the most expensive gift, their attention. And attention cannot be bought. It cannot be replaced by anything. The third sign, even silence feels beautiful. My darlings, This is a very important sign. Very few people understand this. In some relationships, silence is uncomfortable. Something has to fill it. You have to talk. You have to laugh. You always have to be doing something. Because when silence comes, you feel like something is missing in that relationship. And to close that gap, you constantly have to produce something. But with the right person, even silence overflows. When my husband Chester and I have our morning coffee, we sometimes don't talk at all. We just sit, we look out the window, we sip our coffee. Sometimes we just look at each other. And that silence is one of the most peaceful moments of my life. Because even in that silence, I am not alone. My darlings, think about how many people you can be silent with. If that number is very small, those people are very precious. The fourth sign, He is beside you even in difficult times. Life is not always beautiful. Everyone has hard days. Everyone has broken moments. And in those broken moments, who is beside you? The right man is not revealed in beautiful days, but in difficult ones. Chester was beside me at my most broken moment. I will tell you about that moment in a little while, but let me say this. That moment was one of the most important moments of our 41-year marriage. The fifth sign, He grows you. Beside the right man, you don't shrink, you grow. Every passing year, you become a better version of yourself because that man believes in you. He trusts you. He sees you as bigger than you see yourself, and you slowly grow into that vision. When I met my husband Chester, I was 28 years old. Now I am 70, and I am a much bigger woman than the Loretta who was 30. Because Chester believed in me for 40 years, he saw things I could not see. He saw greatness in places I saw smallness. And I slowly believed in myself. My darlings, now I want to tell you something about my husband Chester. But this time, a very different moment. This time, a moment that will show you exactly what emotional intimacy is. It was the 7th year of our marriage. That period was one of the most difficult of my life. My mother was sick, Alzheimer's. You know this disease. Slowly, a little more every day, she was losing her mind. Sometimes when she woke up in the morning, she didn't recognize me. She would look at my face, and in those eyes there was nothing, no recognition, no light of love, just an empty gaze. And I would try to prepare myself for that gaze every morning. I couldn't prepare myself. I never could. Sometimes she had good days. On those good days, she would recognize me. She would smile. She would hold my hand. She would say my name. And those moments, those short and rare moments, were everything to me. I was living for them. One day when I went to visit her, she held my hand. She looked into my eyes, and she said, "Loretta, my beautiful girl." That was all. She said nothing else. But those 4 words were enough for me that day, because she had remembered me just for that moment, just for those 4 words, but she had remembered. I spent that night crying from both happiness and sadness because I knew tomorrow she might not recognize me again, and that is exactly what happened. But after every good day, the bad days came, and the bad days grew longer and longer. Every day I was losing her a little more, but my mother was still there. Her body was there. Her hand could be held. She could be hugged, but she was slowly going, and every passing day I was dissolving a little more. But I wasn't showing it to anyone. I had to be strong. Strong for my mother. Strong for Chester. Strong for everyone. There was a feeling inside me that Loretta is always strong, and I believed it. One morning I woke up very early. Chester was still sleeping. I got up quietly. I went to the kitchen. I made my coffee, and I sat by the window. Outside was still dark. The city had not woken up yet. Everything was silent. And in that silence, for the first time I let myself go. I cried, quietly, without anyone seeing, deeply, for a long time. Everything that had been accumulating inside me for weeks poured out that morning in that kitchen. The weight of accepting that I was losing my mother, the exhaustion of watching someone leave a little more every day, the pain of preparing myself every day for those empty gazes, the burnout of appearing strong, it all poured out, quietly. Then I heard Chester's footsteps. My insides tightened immediately. I don't want him to see me, I said to myself. He will wonder, he will ask. I will have to tell him. And I didn't want to tell him, because if I told him, it would become real. The reality that I was in the process of losing my mother would become real. Chester came into the kitchen. He saw me. My eyes were bright red. My hand was trembling. My shoulders had collapsed. And Chester asked nothing. He didn't say what happened. He didn't say, why are you crying? He didn't say, is everything all right? He came. He didn't even sit beside me. He stood behind me. And quietly, he placed his hands on my shoulders. He just held. No words, no questions, no suggested solutions, just his hands on my shoulders. And when I felt those hands, I cried even more. But this time it was very different. This time I wasn't crying alone. This time someone was with me, truly with me. We stayed like that for a long time, in the dark kitchen, me crying, him holding. Then he leaned down. He whispered in my ear, one sentence, just 2 words. I am here. That was all. I am here. My darlings, those 2 words were the most powerful sentence I ever heard in my life, because they were true, because they had been proven. That morning, Chester asked nothing of me. No explanation, no being strong, no feeling better, just he was beside me. In exactly the way I needed, without words, without conditions, completely. My darlings, this is emotional intimacy. When you cry, he doesn't ask, why are you crying? He just comes. He just holds. He says, I am here. And in that moment, you know, this man sees you. He truly sees you, including all your broken places, including all your vulnerable moments, including all your tired nights, including all your powerless mornings. He sees all of you together, and he still stays. He doesn't run. He doesn't question. He just holds. And that holding is the most beautiful feeling in life. My darlings, I want to tell you something, and I say this from the very depths of my heart. When you find your soulmate, emotional intimacy comes on its own. You don't need to search for it. You don't need to force it. Just you feel it. And that feeling is different from everything. Different from everything you have ever felt before. My darlings, maybe right now you are waiting for that man. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you have lost hope. Maybe you have said, there is no one like this for me. I want to tell you this. I said it too. At 28, I was tired. I had been through so much. And at exactly that exhaustion, Chester came. Quietly, without drama, he just came. And from the very first day, he stood beside me. He has been standing for 41 years. My darlings, that man is coming. And when he comes, all the waiting will be meaningful. All those difficult nights will be meaningful. All those wrong men will be meaningful. All those moments you questioned yourself will be meaningful. All those nights you cried will be meaningful. All those moments you said there is no one like this for me will be meaningful. Because all of it prepared you for that moment, for that dark kitchen moment, for that I am here whisper. You will hear that whisper too, I promise. Now write it in the comments. Is there emotional intimacy in your life? Have you experienced your I am here moment? I will read every single one. See you in the next one, my darlings.